Hello, everyone. Welcome to the EJG3 show. This is your host, Eddie Gallagher. I am here today again by Ryan Joyce. Ryan, welcome back to the show.
Of course, first time went so well, had to come back. A little sad the NBA is over, but I mean, we're gonna talk about it like it was a great series and happy to be back, Eddie. Appreciate having me.
Absolutely. We are here to talk and recap the NBA Finals. Uh, 7 games. That it's a quality series. Unfortunately, the ending was a little disappointing, but we'll get to that later in the show. Uh, but congratulations to the OKC Thunder. They were the best team all year. They
Mhm.
deserved to win the title. Injuries happen. We all know that. Uh, Look, Ryan, they deserve to win the title. I don't want to hear about the injury. There's injuries all over sports.
Yeah, they were definitely the best team all year. I'm gonna give you that. I definitely agree. It does suck though because that was such a good series, and I feel like in the history of the NBA, people are gonna forget about that one just because it wasn't like a two. I know Shea won MVP, but it wasn't like on the other side where Halliburton's a top 10 player. So I really hope people don't forget about the series. It was a great series, but no, this team, like this Thunder team, maybe one of the best defensive teams I've seen in my life. I don't know if you feel the same way too, but the way they were swarming on the defensive end, especially, I don't remember the turnover number yesterday, Eddie, but like they were so good on the defensive side. You have Caruso coming in there. They didn't even play Isaiah Joe, who's like their 3-point specialist guy, and they just played straight all defenders. Jalen Williams, Shea, all these guys are great on defense. Hardenstein, but in terms of an altogether good team, they deserve to win it. And it's crazy to think that honestly, these guys are probably not even in their prime yet. Like Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, these guys are starting to get to the pinnacle, but it's insane how good of a team this was. And it does suck with Halliburton because you do wish that you could see them, at their full form as Pacers team, and that's game seven. Because, I mean, they had the lead going to halftime, but I agree. The Thunder were definitely the best team.
Yeah, look, the Thunder, they were a good defensive team. They forced 21 turnovers in Game 7. Uh, they only gave up uh, 7 turnovers.
Hmm.
So, and that third quarter, that was the difference in the game. I mean,
Yeah.
I believe it was like 20 points or 18 points off turnovers. Um, Clearly, Pacers, they kind of ran out of gas. It felt like to me. Uh, but they're a good defensive team. They're young. Now, they do need to play players. SGA, Chet, Jalen Williams. And we know the NBA, they're starting to have like a salary cap, something like that. Uh, Gosh, but but they have that. Did they have those draft picks?
Yeah, they have like pick 14 or something coming up. So it's not like, oh, you win the NBA title and now you have pick 30. It's like they have so many guys because they probably achieved sooner than they thought they would too. Like you if you think about it, they won what, 25 games maybe 3 years ago? Like last year was their first year back in the playoffs, and the year or two before that was 20 win seasons. Like it's unbelievable. And like I was saying too, a guy like Chet Holmgren, who was not great on the offensive end, how impressive was he last night? Like he was so good blocking shots at the end of the game, and I think they just have a really young team, and you can't say they're going to stick together because you know how the way the NBA works now, like on both sides, where this guy, oh, why I was a big piece in getting to the finals, winning the finals. Let me get paid what this guy's getting paid, or let me, vice versa. But no, I mean, flying on the defensive end yesterday defensively was awesome. I just, like I said, it sucks that Halliburton got hurt. It reminded me a lot of, I don't know if you agree the same way, but it reminded me a lot of like Kevin Durant in 2019. Do you remember that finals where he got hurt? And a little bit different because KD, I think, was out for a while longer than Halliburton,
Yeah.
but he got hurt. And people were saying, well, you don't really need to come back. Don't risk it. But at the end of the day, it's the NBA Finals, and these guys are going to play. And it sucks to see, a guy like Halliburton's going to be out probably, if not all next year, a good
He'll be
amount
out.
next
He'll be
year.
out all year.
So it stinks, man, just because you're in such a hard spot to where, you win and you stay healthy in that game, you're an NBA champion. But now it's just grueling months of, rehab and it kind of where do the Pacers go now? It's because next year, do you look at it as we can't compete because we don't have Halliburton, or I think it's gonna be an interesting offseason to see what they want to do. Paying guys and just how they construct their roster a lot.
Yeah, look, back to defensively, Chet had 5 rebounds. Uh, yeah, I mean, look, the team that had depth won the series. I mean, you look like a guy like Caruso. He played with the Lakers. He was very, very good. He was a
Mhm.
quality player. Um, I mean, obviously, game sevens, your star players are going to play the most, but a bench can win it. And I mean, they had let's see, they had 20 bench points compared to Pacers has. Let me. I'm looking it up.
No, you're good. You're good. Take your time.
42 bench points.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, the Pacers needed their bench to do something because you lose a guy.
Mhm.
But no, I just believe depth wins championships. Healthy teams win championships. It is going to be interesting because I believe SGA is going to get the bag. I don't know how much, but I believe he will.
I mean, yeah, they'll pay him, as much as they want to. I mean, if the guy wins the MVP of the league, MVP of the finals, and he's one of the what's he, 26, 27? Is he even he's not even that close to 30 yet, right? So he's probably 26, 27. Like he has so much ahead of him, and you can't really say this is his peak either. I know, I mean, you just won MVP in the finals, but like he can still add a lot more to his game. I think the interesting part, though, going back to like yesterday, Eddie, is that he didn't shoot the ball very well. Like
No.
he didn't play that great offensively. He made a lot of big free throws, but the Pacers force him to become a playmaker. And what do you have? 11 assists, I think is what the exact number was at the end.
12 assists.
12 assists, yeah. He took what the defense gave him, which is what any star should be able to do. Took what the defense gave him, and he, helped his team win the game. And in terms of the Pacers, that first half, Halliburton gets hurt, but they were still flying at the end of that first, at the end of that second quarter. They were playing good, but I think they just ran out of gas. I think I agree with you. I think that the Thunder, grinded them down a little bit defensively, and it seemed like that last 5 minutes they kind of made that run. They got it to like 10 points, 8 points, and it was just like Matherin like ISO ball, and it
Yeah,
was
well,
kind of
yeah,
like
for
somebody
sure.
gonna do anything. Like I know Nemhard was trying to do something, but I also think that Siakam maybe should have played more in that third quarter and wasn't touching the ball enough. But I do agree at the end of the day, it does stink that Halliburton got hurt, but I do think the best team won the finals, and that's what you want to have every year, right? So
Yeah, look, obviously the Pacers give that team a lot of credit. I clearly underestimated them. I just thought the West was better and deeper, which they are, than the Eastern Conference.
mhm.
And they went 7 games. They went toe to toe. Uh, you know, and Halburn, I'm gonna give him credit for playing because he's he's gonna. I mean, this is the NBA Finals. How many opportunities are you gonna get to have?
Not
Uh,
many, not many.
and look, I get it. He got injured. It stinks. It really does. But I would have probably played too if I was in his position.
Yeah,
Uh, you know, sometimes with those calf strains, you don't know. I mean, it's one they're fine, and then 1 minute later, you rupture your Achilles, and gosh, I knew the game was over. I knew it. I was like, gosh, he ruptured his Achilles.
yeah.
No doubt about it.
Hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Thunder are gonna win by 20 points. No, Patriots fought. Patriots fought the whole game. And that's what they're known for. They fight. And I what a bummer. What a bummer. And now we have no Tyrese, no Tatum for next year because of their Achilles injuries.
Yeah.
It just stinks. The East is now wide open. Who knows? Could be the Knicks, could be the Magic. But I'm still not going to count out the Pacers. Uh,
Yeah. I mean,
they're a
not
feisty group, and Rick Carlisle, he's one of the best coaches in the NBA. There's the reason why he has the championship. You know that team should have not been in 7 games, and they were.
no, I mean, I totally agree. You kind of hear that was actually one of my next points. Like it sucks that, Dame Lillard and Tatum and these guys are getting hurt, and it's a lot of people are saying, is it playing too much basketball issue? Because people look at Tatum and Halliburton, and I don't know if they're right or wrong. I really don't know. It's oh, have they played too much basketball because they played in the Olympics, even though they didn't really play in the actual Olympics itself. But like, did they play? Did they not have a lot of rest between, going from playing in the USA to the season training camp, all that? But it definitely stinks that you're gonna have, yeah, Dame's out and Halliburton and Tatum out. And the East, you're right, it's wide open. It's kind of a thought of, do the Pacers, what kind of moves do they make to compete? And you mentioned there could be a team we don't even know. The Sixers could regroup. The Magic or could be really good. I know you're shaking your head, but uh, it's a wide open thing. I don't know. It really does stink.
The
But
fact that you said too many games. The playoffs for NBA, what were they? Month and a half?
mhm,
2 months? About 2 months? Uh, and they just signed that new TV extension worth millions or billions of dollars. I think these guys, they move. This is different from the 1990s. I'm sorry, they move a lot better. Uh,
mhm.
I do think sometimes a limited rest, between the conference finals and the finals, although the finals they gave about 3 days rest, but the conference finals it was like every other day.
Yeah.
Well, I think with that new TV extension, shrink the games. I'm sorry. I don't want to. I don't want to. We're almost till July. That's crazy to me. 5 game series in the first round, 5 game series in the second round, and then 7 game series, conference finals and the finals.
No, I think isn't it 7 games now for the second round?
No, seven games
Oh,
in
that's what
every
you
round.
want. Oh, you want
I'm
the
I'm
okay.
I'm making a new rule change where
Oh,
it's
that's what
five
you want.
games,
That's what you
five
want.
games.
Okay, yeah, yeah, okay, yeah.
And I just believe there's just too many games. You know who's a better team in 3 games. Stop. Just I don't need. I get it. We had some upsets like Miami beating. Uh, who was it? Uh, well they no they
What
beat the
year?
Bucks. They beat the Bucks. They were 8 seed and they beat the Bucks.
What year? Oh, like last year?
When Miami
Oh, Jimmy Butler
yeah
stuff.
when they made it to the finals and they faced Jokic and the Nuggets.
Yeah, I mean, they beat the Celtics. They beat the Knicks one year. Like yeah, it's
But
it's
but but still, but anyways, what I'm trying to say is we don't need a long series. I mean,
not at all.
in my opinion, the NBA playoffs should end June 10th. June 10th.
Hmm?
Just we don't. We're almost till July. That seems unreasonable.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the extra couple weeks at the end of the year doesn't really make like too much sense. It's like you're right. We kind of know who the best teams are, and even look at the Thunder, Eddie, too. Like their first series, they won in like a week, right? Then they won 4 games in a row. They swept them.
Yeah,
Didn't they have to wait like another week or week and a
yeah,
half?
something like that.
So it was like such a long time between, and I mean, that's on them. They got a lot of rest, but I remember the big concern was that they haven't been playing, and are they going to be like ready to go? Because they've had rest, but they haven't played in a week and a half, and I think scheduling could go better. You never really want to play necessarily back to backs, but you might have to start thinking about how there's some games where it's like they'll travel and then you have like a day, then you don't have to give them 2 days off. Like again, I understand like
I
traveling.
get it. You're spitballing, but just
Yeah.
5 game series.
Okay. I agree.
First round, second round, and 7 game series, conference and finals. Like, stop playing more games. You guys have the money. You guys are making a lot of money because of the TV contracts. Just,
Mhm.
just, just limit the number amount of games. I think that's also good for the fans because you know what it does? It creates urgency. You
Yeah.
have to win every game.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, obviously they want it, but we've seen in the playoffs a lot of teams dogged it in the first quarter. You
Yeah.
don't want that.
No.
So I just think limit the number of games. Ended by June 10th at the
Mhm.
latest. I mean, you start from Easter to almost late June. That's a little ridiculous.
Yeah. Uh, I got a question for you. Where do you rank like SGA in the NBA? Is he easily a top five guy?
Right now,
Is he a top three guy? Yeah,
right.
right now.
Um,
He's not number one, right?
I'm going Jokic.
Okay.
I think Giannis. I want to say Luca, but Luca.
Oh yeah. Oh, Giannis at two, huh?
No, Giannis only has one.
No, no, no. I'm saying like ranking top 10 NBA guys.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I think he's at 2 right now.
okay,
Um,
interesting. Yeah.
I think he's top 5 for sure. I mean, like you said, he's young. You know, there's still plenty of game left for him. But there's just so many good players.
Yeah.
There really is.
Mhm.
But I got a question for you.
What's that?
Is SGA the best Thunder?
Ooh.
That's the better question.
Mm. So I've actually been thinking about this. I think he is. I think he is. I think what goes back and forth in my mind though is that okay, MVP check, KD, MVP for Shea check, but he did bring a title. He did bring a title home, and he was on some really bad. I know he's a young player, but he was on some really bad Thunder teams, Eddie, and I never heard him complain. I've never heard he wanted out. Now I know they're an up and up team now, and they just won the finals, but he never left the Thunder. He never asked to leave the Thunder. Now, the thing that I go back to is that what maybe look at the level of competition is that maybe the West wasn't as strong as I mean, go back
No,
10.
The West was stronger. You had the Spurs, you had the
I'm saying
Warriors,
I'm saying back then, yes, Spurs, Warriors, the Mavs had won the
you
title
got
early
Kobe
on.
Lakers, you got
The
Kobe
end,
Lakers.
the end of the Lakers, yeah, run. But yeah, I don't know. I think he's
Okay,
gonna. As a question, is he gonna end up being the best Thunder of all time, or is
wait,
he right now the best Thunder player of all time?
yeah, like you just said, he's the best Thunder of all time.
Okay.
We're talking about Thunder. Now,
Yes.
is he the better player than Kevin Durant? No,
No.
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 But he is the best Thunder because of the championship.
Yeah. I agree. I think if he has a couple more run, I mean, the sky's the limit for this team. Like I think at some point that they're so young that they're gonna have a window right now that they're gonna have 3 to 5 years that hopefully they can keep these guys like in, lockdown money wise. They don't want to go anywhere else. But yeah, I mean the best Thunder player right now, I'd have to go Shea. I mean, maybe I'm saying it a little too early. I mean, like I said,
No, no, you're not. You're
I'm
not.
kind of I'm kind of contradicting myself. Like I'm saying the take, and I'm just like, oh, maybe like, maybe I'm saying it too early. But I think he is. I think if you bring a title to a place, same thing with like Kawhi, where they say is Kawhi one of the best Raptors of all time. I say yes. People say he was only there 1 year. If you single-handedly can bring a team a title, and you're the franchise player and you're the closeout guy, he closed out a lot of these games in these finals. I think that you have to be up there as Mr. Thunder. And as good as Katie is, and Katie will be a better all-time player than Shea, and that's no doubt about it. I just think that he did what Katie couldn't do. And maybe, like I said, some people say that 10 years ago was a better competition. Spurs, Warriors, those kind of teams, the Clippers, like all that. But
I mean, first of all, don't mention the Clippers. The Clippers were not good.
I mean, they had CP3 and Blake
Stop,
Griffin. They had
stop,
a couple
stop,
guys,
stop,
but
stop.
I'm saying they were second round playoff teams and like semifinal teams. They were never like the biggest competition, but they were there for the top teams in the West. But
Yeah, well, I think
maybe
he
not like
is.
an all time great team, but
No, no, no. By the way, uh, I believe SGA is the best Thunder. Then it
okay,
goes Kevin Durant. Then it goes Russell Westbrook.
I agree. I think and well, you're not putting in like the supersonic, right?
No,
That's
no, it's
not taking
it's.
all. Okay, I was gonna say that's yeah, just Thunder wise. Yeah, I mean.
I mean, come on, we weren't even alive when the Sonics were.
It yeah, but it is funny though. I will say that people totally forget that Paul George was there for a bunch of years.
Yeah, no, for sure.
It's kind of funny. No, 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 he's not up there. I'm just saying it's kind of funny how he just kind of came and went.
No,
Like,
no. Look, Sam Presti is one of the best GMs of all time.
yeah.
He really is. Sam Presti is one of
Oh,
the best GMs of all
awesome.
time.
And people didn't know
Yeah,
if it was gonna work, and he got all these draft picks, and he's hit on pretty much like every one of them. So,
yeah. No, he's definitely a good one.
mhm.
And I don't. I'm not saying you're saying this, but people in the stratosphere, if you say Thunder won a championship and it hurts Kevin Durant's legacy, just shut up. I'm sorry. Kevin Durant's not even on his team. Why are you talking about this hurts his legacy?
Yeah.
I get it. Kevin Durant has now won a championship. On his own. Well, I
Mhm.
mean, yeah, did he help a team? But he wasn't the leader. But just shut up and stop saying, oh, this hurt. Thunder won a championship. This hurts his legacy. No, it does not. He, he wasn't even on the team. He didn't even play for the Thunder. Just stop it.
Yeah. What do you think about I don't know if you're gonna get into this, but what do you think about him going to the Rockets?
Well, let's go there now.
Okay.
First off, here are the trade details. Uh, Kevin Durant to the Houston Rockets for Jalen Green, Dylan Brooks, the number 10th pick in this year's draft, and five second-round picks. Now, Kevin Durant averages 26 points a game, and the Rockets definitely needed a scorer. Suns, and they didn't have to give up too much to get him. I
Yeah,
thought the Rockets got the better end of the deal.
I agree. I do. Now the I'm gonna throw it out there. I was telling people about this. I don't know if the Suns are gonna trade Jalen Green at all, but Jalen Green, Bradley Beal, and Devin Booker is maybe the most disgusting like backcourt I've ever heard in my life. That is one of the worst like spacing wise. None of those guys want to pass. I mean, Book can pass, but like none of those guys ever want to pass the basketball. It's those guys are all ISO basketball players. Like I don't know what the next move for the Suns is here. I don't know if they're gonna just gonna blow it up.
Yeah, I
It's
don't know.
just that franchise that can be a discussion for another day. That's like that's a badly ran franchise considering they made the finals a couple years ago. But
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure.
I think KD's gonna be great in Houston. Now, do I think they're gonna win anything? I don't think they're ever gonna win a title. Like I don't think they're gonna ever really maybe. I don't think they're ever gonna win the Western Conference. But I do like their core. I'm the biggest Şengün fan of like all time just because he plays like old man basketball. It's very much like get the ball, like dribble in the post, and he's like slow too. So it's almost like a timing issue on the defensive end where you can't really time out when to like, and he's strong too. You can't really time out when to necessarily, guard him. And yeah, he just plays post up basketball, and Katie's gonna be great. Katie is gonna be the number one guy on the team for sure. But now we have to see how like a Van
No,
Vliet.
no. To be fair, the Rockets are young. They're young,
Yeah, they
so
are. Mhm. The
Kevin
Thompson
Durant's an older
Thompson
guy,
brothers can
and
be
you know
good.
what? They can
Yeah,
rest him to the playoffs. Now, granted, the reason why they lost to the Warriors is because they couldn't score the basketball.
yeah. No, they're a good team. It's not like you're sending them to a team that is like ninth or tenth in the conference last year. You have a really good coach. Udoka's a really good coach. You have, like I said, one of the Thompson brothers who's super athletic. Their potential, well, both those guys, but the potential for him is through the roof. You have Van Fleet at point guard, who's kind of a chuck, but like he can, if he learns to be a traditional point guard and not, that the end of that series, he was terrible against the Warriors, but they have some guys. Jabari Smith, you're hoping he takes the next step. Now you're going to be learning under the wing of Kevin Durant, who's a Hall of Famer, top 10, 15 player of all time. Now, it's we talk about the East being wide open. Do you think the West is wide open because you have, Timberwolves who, they're still going up, but then do you still want to play Rudy Gobert there? Do you want to keep those guys? Are the Warriors done for good? They might be kind of a wide open conference too. The Nuggets obviously have your guy, Jokic. Like
Yeah, look,
it really could be wide
I
open
think
both
I think
conferences. Yeah.
Thunder should be the favorites,
Mhm.
and then it's everybody else. I
Yeah.
mean, Minnesota. We'll see if Ant gets better. We'll see if obviously what the Rockets will do. It's going to be an interesting series. I mean, season next year. Because there's a lot of good teams in the West. You know, don't forget, don't forget about Dallas. Don't be sleeping on Dallas right now. I'm
Yeah.
telling you right now, don't be sleeping on them. It,
What about the
it
Lakers?
well, let me get back to Dallas. If Anthony Davis stays healthy and Kyrie Irving's healthy,
Yeah.
and if Cooper Flag, if they compare him to Jason Tatum, which everyone is, that's a good roster.
Hmm.
That is a really good roster.
Yeah, I think do you think I don't think I've talked to you about this. Maybe you brought it up on your pod, but do you think it was rigged, the draft?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, sports are kind of staged, best storylines,
Yeah.
but I don't know that for sure.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I'm very high on Dallas next year.
Yeah, I mean, there's still, yeah, Kyrie Irving, Anthony Davis. I mean, you still have most of the role players still, like PJ Washington and guys, Daniel Gafford, guys from that, championship team. And if Cooper Flag comes in and he's who we think he is, then, I mean, they can be a playoff team for sure. I agree.
Yeah, I know SGA. His team won the finals. He was the
Hmm.
Finals MVP. But to recap the playoffs, I'm gonna remember one guy who made all the shots. Game 7 injured. Tyrese Halliburton was the best player in the playoffs. Is that like he made all the clutch moments. I feel like he carried that team. I mean, obviously they're a deep team,
Hmm.
but I just remember the top plays, the moments. He's my guy. He's my MVP in the postseason. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my Knicks hate, or no, not Knicks hate, my Pacers hate and my Knicks bias. I gotta throw it to the side. He had an unbelievable playoffs. Like he was great. Now, some of the games, I will kind of rebuttal you a little bit. Some of the games he wasn't great offensively, and he fell apart in a couple of those playoff games. Like I forgot it was game 4 or 5, but in big moments, I think I mean
Well,
the
in big moments, he rises to the
yeah,
occasion. But
in the playoffs he was great, but I think I saw a video on like Twitter where it was kind of saying in clutch time he maybe was like 14 for 15. Like this is regular season continuated through the playoffs. Like he was unbelievable. And yeah, he made big time shots. I mean, as much as I hate him hitting that shot against the Knicks in game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals, like sometimes you need luck to go your way. And in that instance it did. And he's a heck of a player. And like I said, it stinks, Eddie, that like a guy like him who he kind of had a revival year, right? Because remember we were saying like he didn't play in the Olympics, and they said Halliburton's kind of a bum, like he can't really do it. And then they started the year off, they weren't great, and they said, well, Tyrese Halliburton is kind of a
did people
fake
rank
top
him
10
as the
player.
most overrated player in the league?
Yeah, and that wasn't the media. That was the players in the league. That wasn't just like, you and me, like in the like a media person writing an article. That was like an actual
Yeah, the
guy
players
that
voted.
plays against. Yeah. So he had a chip on his shoulder the entire series, and people will say like, oh, he talked a little, too much, trash the players and stuff like that. But he had something to prove, and up until sadly Game 7, he performed very well. And like I said, I think that we talk about the Thunder's future. I think the Pacers have a future too. Now I'm really high on like a Benedict Mathurin. Like I think he's going to be a really good player. I don't know if his opportunity comes in Indiana because he's a guy that I think he could go to a different team right now. I'm not saying like a top three team in the East or West, but he could go to a team. He could be a 20 point per game guy for sure. I just I don't know. I think they have a really talented, and Nemhard and Neesmith and those guys. Like they have a really solid, backcourt, and I want to see where they go in the future. But no, Halliburton, I think he's my MVP too. I think just big time moments he rised up, and they were down in so many games, and who led them back? It was started off by Halliburton either scoring or making great passes.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, congratulations to the Thunder. Uh, Heck of a season. Congratulations to the Pacers. You guys gave us everything that we wanted. Game 7. And hopefully Tyrese can get back healthy. And hopefully we see him. I think 2027 season, if I'm picturing that correctly.
Did they say he was out for the whole year? I mean, I assume
Well,
he
he
is.
torn his Achilles.
Yeah,
I don't expect him.
assume he's out. So,
Yeah, I'm assuming he's out. Basketball's over. Baseball's still going on.
hmm
And guess what's around the corner?
got football coming up.
You got football coming up.
I
You
saw
got
I saw
football.
I saw Scott Hansen tweet like 11 Sundays until red zone.
Yep.
So that
Yep.
got me excited. That got me excited.
Yeah. Look, I'm gonna enjoy my summer. I'm gonna talk a little baseball.
hmm
Uh, when it's gonna be All-Star break, I'll talk baseball. I'll try to get people lined up. But starting in August, I'm talking football, and hopefully it's around the corner. And look, think about the NBA. It's hard to cover because there's so many games. Like I mean, and plus, I'm working as well.
Yeah.
You know, so
Well, you
but
go you go October. It's like you said, October till like the end of June. That's that's
yeah,
a
no, it's hard to
hard
cover.
year,
It's
man. That's
hard
a
it's
hard
hard to talk
time.
about it every day.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, look, great playoffs. I mean, you got the Knicks. What a story! You got the Pacers. What a story! Uh, you got big news. Katie going to the Rockets. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of off season left, and I want to cover. I might talk basketball then and there, but yeah, no more games, and let's see what the off season brings us. I feel like the off season is better than the regular season and the
Yeah,
playoffs.
yeah, I think I feel like more people want to talk about the off season, just players going to different teams, coaches being on like it's talked about a lot more than I think sometimes the playoffs in the NBA. Where I'm someone that loves basketball, so I'll watch all year long. But there are people that it's kind of like if your team's really bad, it's like let's just skip past the playoffs. Like let's get to July 1st, when players can sign and get traded and all that. But yeah, I mean the first domino, we thought we were gonna have to wait for KD to maybe get traded, and it happens pretty
Well,
early.
can
So
I? All right, last topic. It
yeah,
bugs me. I feel like the season should end, and then teams can start making moves. I feel like this is an unfair advantage.
you're saying like the
I'm
not not
saying I'm
not just the
saying
regular season, you're
teams
saying like
teams should not be
all
teams should not be making moves
yeah. I agree. I
until
agree. I think it was weird Desmond Bain got traded like randomly, like in the middle of the finals. Like I kind of agree they should wait until yeah, every game's done and
just wait till the end of the season,
someone's
and
playing.
then
Yeah.
move
So,
move the draft up to July or something.
mhm.
But hey, I don't run the NBA.
That's true. Yeah, yeah. You
Yeah.
someday you might. Someday you
Hey,
might.
hey, Ryan. Thank you for coming on the show, and talk to you guys soon.
Of course. Glad to be back on. Thank you.
Yep.